Hello everyone and welcome back to DCS World, Enigma's Cold War server and the Mig-19. Now, most of the videos that I put out here are highlights normally involving me doing well, or at least showing off a series of clips where I do well in some of them. But I cannot overstate the fact that I am cherry picking these. I put out those videos because I think they're more interesting, they're more fun to watch. But there's also a lot of fun in watching someone just screw up again and again and again, and that happens more often than not with me. I do get quite a few aces on the server. I also go a lot of days where the entire session I don't get a single thing. And so I thought it's about time that I show off another one of these rather painful episodes. This time I'm in the Mig-19 on the Caucasus rotation, and so let's see what a bit more of an average flyout is for me. So, because for quite a lot of this I wasn't talking too much, I'll be doing a Docs Debrief style voiceover to see what I can learn from all of this. Here's an engagement where I was chasing one F5, and then this Vigor nicely decides to cross my nose, which on the bright side puts me in perfect position to try and engage him. On the downside, I do find myself now engaged with I think 4 enemies. So, trying to pull here, I do get a decent hit there, which isn't something we're going to be seeing too much of in this video, but I do clip off one of his elevrons there, but he still keeps going. Now, he tries to extend. I do keep checking my 6, which is good at this point, since I know there are a lot of enemies. He decides to keep turning with me, which is an interesting tactic, and I really should have capitalised on it here, but I clearly need to work on my marksmanship with the farmer. I'm just really struggling here. You can see I'm firing away, not getting any hits, nose is bobbing way up and down here, reaching stall conditions. Just wasting my ammo. He is a perfect target here. He should be dead. But unfortunately, I just can't get the hit. And unfortunately, he straightened out there to drag me for a friend, and so get splashed. Now, this is a little bit later. End up there with a head-on merge. Again, don't manage to land my hits. And turn into this guy. So it starts off with a 1v1, but you may be able to see in the EWR picture there, this is a 2-on-1 at this point. And there we have the other F5 coming in, turning in the opposite direction. And end up doing a neutral merge with him. He fires at me and misses that time, so at least I'm not the only one missing with these. Good news there is we do have a friendly Mig-21 that is joining in, so this is now a 2-on-2. And one of the F5s has reversed, so most of us are all turning in the same direction. But I'm still struggling here. I keep turning too hard at key times, bleeding off too much energy. And although you used to be able to get away with this in the Farmer, since the flight model update about 6 months ago, you really can't pull that kind of AOA and expect the plane to keep happy. Do the sensible thing and go high, as I couldn't keep up with his turn. Dive back in, should be lined up nice on him now. The other one also slots in front of me. Again, I'm in really good position here, a little bit high aspect, but good overall position. They both have their eyes on this 21. I should get a kill here, absolutely should get a kill. One of them breaks off, so I focus on the one that's still attacking the 21. Briefly flip over to missiles, but then decide I'm too close. Fire off some rounds, do get a hit there. It looks very fancy, bits fly off of him, but I don't think I've actually done any real damage there. He seems to have his rudder and his elevator all functioning just fine. You can certainly keep up with the 21, and he's not even broken off of the 21. Still pushing this guy. And so I've kind of failed at everything here. I've not managed to shoot this guy down, and I've not managed to save the 21. Now, here I do struggle. I briefly lose sight of them against the ground. Do re-establish. Fortunately, by the time I'm coming back in, he is very much close in on the 21. Getting off loads of shots, some of which are hitting. May just see a little burst there as he does get a solid hit in. Desperately trying to get in position, but I just can't make this happen. And here, once again, I start missing. Just really wasn't my day. I really need to keep the plane under a bit better control. And there the 21 bails. So now I'm in a 2-on-1 with one of them right behind me. He's did the sensible thing, disengaged, and then came back in. I do keep pushing this guy since I feel that I should be able to get the kill off. But again, you can see the nose bouncing up and down. I am going far too slow. These F5s are definitely making me work for it. Get another hit there. But again, it's not enough. I think I forgot to change the ammunition type when I was loading up. And so some of these are just the AP rounds, which don't do a huge amount when they do connect. And you can see this guy coming right up behind me. Unfortunately, I just run out of energy there. I just go in the ground, he get a couple of hits in, which is just enough to distract me so that I just crashed in. So yeah, not great so far. 2 shoots down, and all I've got to show for it is a couple of wounds on enemy planes, no splashes. Now here I am chasing a Vigor, and all of a sudden notice there's an F5 right next to me. So turn to engage the F5. The F5 unfortunately spots me too and engages me. So we are now both fighting. He does seem to try and extend here. I am on comms at this point with a few people, but none are in the immediate area, so I'm mostly on my own. And again, we can see in the feed there's multiple enemies all in this region. This is one of the real flashpoints on the new Caucasus map, is this region here. And now that Vigan comes back in, we both fire at each other, and we both hit each other. It's just a fair trade there. He pilot sniped me, I ripped his wings off, 1 for 1, but not ideal. And then here we're back in. You can see I'm approaching a massive Fergal here. Got multiple planes in the air. Very nicely, one of the Vigans there decides that he needs to shoot down a saber, which really helps me because I am terrible at fighting sabers no matter what I'm in. And that Vigan ends up nicely in front of me here. Again, I should have been able to get shots there. The issue is I apparently didn't arm my guns. I really thought I did. Apparently I didn't. So, trying to push this guy again here. You can see I get decent clips off, but not giving it enough lead. These rounds are a lot slower than what I've been playing with recently, but finally do get a kill there. Take off someone's wing. He's going in. Now, still in a very dangerous situation here. There are plenty of bad planes around me. Not a huge amount of friendly planes around me. And as I look around, I do have this S5 right on my tail. I am outrating him here. But here is where I make an error. I take my eye off the ground, almost go in. And because I have to then focus on not crashing, I end up doing a reversal, and that plays right into his hand. And so he gets a good hit in there. There are 2 more hits coming in. I've now taken quite a lot of airframe damage. Another F5 coming in off my nose. And here I just no longer have the engine thrust to keep myself in the air. So that one is really a case of me losing situational awareness and almost hitting a tree. Now, here we're heading in once again. Quick rearm and respawn. We can see the flaming corpse of Merker, who I was trying to scramble to assist here. Now, unfortunately, Merker got shot down before I could get there, and so now I'm heading into a very active area. Can see Mig-19 there, and then I neutral merge with an F5 there. We both go a little bit vertical here. He starts flaring, I think, because he was nervous of the other plane. I then lose track of him briefly, but then reacquire him. He's just moving along the forest there. Here again, I've managed to get myself into a good position. This should be a winning engagement here. Coming in, got guns armed. He's nice and steady in his maneuvering. Starts to pull up, and I just absolutely whiff the shots. Not only do I whiff the shots there, but then I go in too fast, overshoot. He does get hit by a missile though, so at least he goes down, even though I didn't really contribute to it. It's the 21 that got the kill, flaring away. Now once again we're scrambling to try and reach a large furball that's going on up ahead. I've got 2 friendlies behind me, just searching for where the enemy are at this point. Do see something on the horizon, but as I'm focusing on that, do get an alert that there is an F5 right behind me. So go high, trying to get eyes. He does launch on me, but this is Caucus, so the missiles aren't great, and so it's not too hard just to snap turn and make a missile lose track. All you have to do is be keeping an eye on your 6. Again here I realise this is not a one-on-one. I've got a Vigan right behind me, and that was another F5 slotting in. So here I'm just trying to outrate the Vigan so that he can't pull that lead he's trying to get for those cannons. Still have the F5 coming in, and there is another F5 that I don't have eyes on in the engagement here. Now, notice this F5 here has reversed his turn, so he is crossing my nose. I aim just a tad too high. Again, the kind of theme that I'm seeing here is I just need to get some real practice in the Farmer. I've lost the knack of leading these guns, and I'm just missing so often here. There was another missile in the air, which I didn't see, but thankfully I am just turning sharp enough that missiles really can't track me on Caucus. I would very much be dead if this was on the Syria weapon rotation. Right now I'm just trying to stay defensive. On the bright side, if you keep turning sharply on Caucus, people do find it very hard to get a shot off no matter where they are. So even being third-partied here isn't too likely, just because of the rates that we can pull. In there, fire, miss. Realise I'm about to go into the ground. Do pull it out just above treetop height. If there was a particularly tall tree there, I would have been in the ground. Unfortunately, that did cause me to lose complete sight of the fight. do reacquire this guy right behind me in quite a steady rate fight here. You can see him slipping towards the front of my canopy, so I'm not too concerned about him right now. Just wanting to focus on this. Do check my 6. There's a plane there that is also trying to rate, but it is an F5 again. I should be able to win in the rate fight. Have at this point in the evening got at least a little bit better at controlling my speed, so I'm not in the dangerous territory of stalling out here, but I am pulling rather hard. Can see that I am starting to win the rate fight against this one that was on my 6 though. He's starting to drift towards the front of my canopy. He starts to straighten out here. There is a 25 that's coming in. That is Merker doing his best to help me here. And so we are still focusing on this guy. I try and get a little snapshot there. Tiny little hit. And that tiny little hit was enough to take him down. Hit something clean there. That was decent luck there more than anything, but I'm happy to take it. Did get a kill there. You can see this time I did remember to loan the correct rounds, I think. Actually, that's armor piercing, so maybe not. Maybe I forgot again. Alright, trying to pull on this guy. Merker's also trying to get around. I fire Fox 2 here. Unfortunately, he does start dumping flares, and so that doesn't quite track him. Merker's launch behind me goes for me instead, so I'm forced to break off in order to survive. But again, still, even the Frogfoot still gets rubbish missiles, so I can dodge quite easily just by pulling extra AoA. Do spot there, we do have a Mig-19 in the area helping us. Now, Merker's telling me where this guy is really close to me. I am not seeing him at all until there. Crosses my nose. So, once again, in a pretty good position here. But once again, not really making the most of this. Trying to catch up with him, getting back into weapons range, but it's really not working too well for me today. Now, we initially wonder if he is bugging out, but he does turn back, I think, as he sees Merker. And he is heading right back into straight towards Merker at this point. I'm still trying to catch this guy. I fire Fox 2 there, hoping he's going straight, but he pulls at the last moment. And so unfortunately I miss, and what's worse is I'm now out of missiles. That is Merker in 25. I do call out here that he's been launched on. He does flare it off. Doing my best to get into weapons range here. This guy is right on Merker. If I had a Fox 2 here, I would have taken the shot, but I'm out. And try and take a snapshot there, but my wasteful use of ammo before gets me, and I can't get the hit, and I'm out of ammo. I did try and put pressure on the guy, but he's still managed to get Merker. At this point, I just bug out of there. I just RTB as quick as possible. I do outrun the F5. Really hard landing, but I do survive it at least. It's a case of rearming, refueling, heading back to the front. Once again, we are scrambling towards a furball that's going on here. And on the way, I do see this gazelle low level attacking a friendly base. So I do try and go in on him here. But once again, I really don't have the knack for leading these guns anymore. So as I try and go in here, you can see I'm just nowhere near leading enough. I do clip off a couple of rounds, but not really enough to do anything. It does highlight that for the two friendlies behind me so they can find and kill that gazelle. I decide just to burn through, since we do have a friendly in trouble up ahead that I'm trying to get to. I'm just trying to scan. There is Merker in his 25 just flaring up ahead. Can see there is a plane right on his 6. They're now heading towards us, so I'm just calling in at this point, giving Merker alerts. The guy overshoots, but then there's this A-10 right behind Merker lining up for a shot. So I decide he is the new priority. Merker's doing his best to continue to turn in on the A-10. I fire a Fox, but doesn't quite track. The A-10's just turning too hard. Merker does take a hit there. And here you can see my nose is too high for this engagement. I screw up, I miss, Merker goes down. And so, really not working out too well. Try and stay on this A-10. But as I do, I take a hit in the rear. And at that point, I just call it a day. That was not the best round that I've ever had in DCS. Certainly learnt quite a bit from it still. I do need to just get better at landing those shots and a bit better at managing my energy, not pulling as hard as I do when I'm in the Farmer. If you do have any other tips for me, I would certainly appreciate them. Otherwise, I hope to catch you in a future video. Till then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.